ideas about what happens on a military base. And Jean and Charles are here to tell us some things that maybe aren't going to be too terribly happy because things happen. And so Jean's going to give us their story of this year on the military base.
It's great to be here with you today. It's wonderful to see a lot of friends that I haven't seen for a long time. And thank you for your interest in our U.S. military. I want to thank Kim for getting our sound system set up. Thanks so much. I want to thank PJ for the decorations that she put on the table. Pictures of our military. Thank you so much, PJ, for taking the time and effort to do those displays. Here in Corvallis, we have had demonstrations of supporting our troops, quite a number of them over the last few years, and we thank you, all of you who have participated in those, because it's very important that we realize the sacrifices that are being made by those who are loyal Americans and the effect on their lives. It's true sacrifice. We were called by our church to go to serve on a military base to help the men and women and their families. In our church, we're about 125 couples out at the same time. We went to a training center for about 10 days and learned how to approach addiction recovery, how to help families with resiliency training so that when they run up against the problems that happen inevitably in military life, they don't just get depressed and sit down and quit. Rather, they learn how to approach the problems there and to preserve family life and to be good to each other. You might say, how could Charles and I be qualified to do this? We are not social workers. We don't have ecclesiastical degrees. But Charles was a career military man. He began being America's first line of defense back in the 1950s. He flew the B-47 Stratobomber, and they were on alert at all times to be, well, he had to be in his plane in 30 seconds and in the air in 2 minutes, headed for a specific target when we had people who were rattling the sabers and threatening to attack us. That was a great deterrent. I can never adequately express my appreciation for him putting his life on the line like that. He also served as a reconnaissance pilot carrying CIA men and women in the air over Vietnam, spotting the troops. So, of course, he was a target there, too. God preserved him. I thank the Lord for that. So we have experienced a lot of separation. And we knew what these families were going through when they had their loved ones go to Iraq, Afghanistan, and places like that. As active members of our church, we were very used to serving our own members and anyone who was in need of help. And so it's kind of like second nature to us to take a calling like this, and we are so glad that we did it. We were trained in the trenches, and that training really paid off. So with Jesus Christ as our best friend and the determination to serve our fellow men, we set off for that long journey down to Georgia. We drove our 1999 Buick. We stopped along the way for 10 days of training. We had to learn how to run an addiction recovery program. We had to learn how to talk to individuals and give them encouragement, realistic encouragement, and options for their lives. Georgia, and Georgia's a beautiful, beautiful place. This is the state of Georgia. Up here's Atlanta. Down here is Savannah, and we were about 30 miles out of Savannah, down here in near Hinesville at Fort Stewart. The land there is very, very flat. Coming up, in fact, Hinesville was just barely above tide water. So I guess the first thing that we took on when we got there was to join with Army Community Services and be the people who contacted all of the new families who came on the post and asked them if they'd like to come to an orientation where we talk about all the services that are available to Army families. Now, it was a lot different, we found out today, than it was back when we were in the military. The attitude toward families at that time was, if the military wanted you to have a wife, they'd have issued you one. Right, John? Okay. Now they have a lot of programs to support families who realize that the mental health of our soldiers is very dependent on the mental health of their families. We also train because, okay, here's Florida, right down here's the Gulf. There's in the summertime, there's a lot of hot, moist air that comes up off the Gulf and encompasses this whole area. You probably read in the paper when the big freeze came down in the east that Atlanta had temperatures of 5 degrees. You get a lot of turbulence in there. And so we were trained in case of a tornado, in case of a hurricane, in case of natural disasters that might really be damaging, flooding and things like that. We were trained to evacuate up to shelters that were about 100 miles from Fort Stewart and to work in those shelters and help the people. Never had to do that. We got trained to do it, but we didn't ever have to do it. Closest we came to a tornado was, I went to the grocery store, Charles was at home, all at once we were living in a single wide mobile home. That mobile home began to really shake. He wondered, well, what's going to happen, and I wasn't there with him. I was in Walmart, and they ordered us all to the back of the store and kept us in a shelter because you would not want to be in a big box store if a tornado hit. I mean, that glass, that metal flying around. And so we were protected during that time, and that was our only encounter. We thank the Lord for that. As I told you, we led a weekly addiction recovery group for people who were trying to overcome not only alcohol and drug addiction, but pornography, any type of addiction that would affect the behavior. We were there to help them. We taught the resiliency training to families. The soldiers get an